Next, let's look at the second case, the second one of the three cases of dividend patterns. This one is known as constant growth dividends. So let's say a company has just paid some dividend per share, right? Let's say we know that. What will the future dividends look like? They will be growing at a constant rate forever. So this is actually what in chapter 6 we learned as a growing perpetuity. So this formula is also nothing new, right? The dividend in 1 year would be equal to the dividend today that has just been paid multiplied by 1 plus G, where G is the percentage increase in the dividend amount every year. In the second year, we apply the growth rate again. So we can find the dividend in the second year as today's dividend multiplied by, open parenthesis, 1 plus the growth rate, close parenthesis, raised to the second power. For the third year dividend, the power changes to 3, and so on. What do we use to find the present value of a growing perpetuity? From chapter 6, to find the present value of a growing perpetuity, we take the cash flow amount, and it has to be the first one in the future sequence. That's important. So what's the first cash flow on our timeline in the future sequence of dividends? It's the first year dividend. So we are excluding today's dividend. It has just been paid, right? It's already gone. It's like sunk cost. You're not gonna be given it anymore. So what you're paying money for is future dividends, right? So the cash flow in the numerator is the first year's dividend. And in the denominator, a growing perpetuity present value formula has discount rate R minus the growth rate in the dividend amount, lowercase g. So the present value of a perpetuity is the current stock price that we would need to find. The recurrent cash flow, or actually more like the very first one in this growing sequence, is the first year's dividend, D subscript 1. And lowercase g is the rate at which dividends grow each year. Okay? Actually, this is a good place to point out an important detail. When you are asked to find the price for one share of stock with growing dividends, the wording, depending on the wording, you need to use one of two versions of the growing perpetuity formula. If the wording implies that you're given the dividend next year, which is D subscript 1, then it goes directly in the numerator. But the wording could instead say that a company paid a dividend of some dollar amount. So what they give you is not dividend in 1 year, which needs to be in the numerator, but the dividend today, year 0. And so in the second case, you need to first adjust the formula slightly. So you need to kind of first calculate what the next year's dividend would be, because that's what needs to be in the numerator. And you find it by multiplying today's dividend, D subscript 0, by 1 plus the growth rate in dividends. So D0 times 1 plus G is equal to D1. And then you divide it by R minus G, right? So price in year 0 is capital P subscript 0. D0 and D1 are the dividend amount for today's dividend, something that has recently been paid or paid, soon, something around today, right? And D1 is year 1 dividend. G is the growth rate of dividends, of dividend amounts, and R is the discount rate. So there are two rates, two percentages, R and G. Okay, so this is sort of like an explanation to the notations in this two versions of the price formula. Then another thing that's useful to know about this constant growth dividend case is that it turns out that not only will the dividends be growing by G% every year, but also so will the price per share. So for example, the price in 10 years will equal the dividend in 11 years divided by R minus G, right? So at any point of time, you can say, okay, this is our starting point. And then to find the price for that year, you need to take the dividend the year after and divide by R minus G.